All right. Oh, not on my right screen here. All right, we will call Courts and Public Safety Committee to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. McCormick?
Here.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here.
Thank you. We'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from January 8th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the minute.
All right.
I'll second.
Mr. Hardy. McCormick and Hardy with the support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Minutes are approved. Any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Beggs, the GRC mapping grant for Central Dispatch and a letter of support for the Road Commission for their grant that they're applying for. The mapping grant will be 2026-25,
Okay.
and the Road Commission letter of support will be 2026-26. And I might say, Mr. Beggs, that these are things that came up real quick, and there's a deadline for both of them.
Sure.
So that's why we're asking them to be done at this meeting.
Sounds good. Any other changes?
And you want to put them right after the quarterly report?
Yeah, yep, that'd be a good spot for them.
Thank you.
All right, hearing no other changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll make that motion, Hardy.
Support, Walker.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Very good. Any public comment for Courts and Public Safety?
That's what they'll be.
Hearing none, I'll invite Life EMS to the podium for our quarterly report.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Jeff
Morning.
Stockill from Life EMS. The report you have before you, I think was a very successful, if you will, report. We did deal with some significant delays in the month of December. Seems like Michigan's returned to some more historic winters compared to the last few years. We had 622 ambulance transport and on-scene assessments during this quarter. It's an increase of 44 compared to 2024. Our total numbers were down a little bit, with 2,597 respectively. I did include the 5 previous years that you could see there. It's pretty flat numbers compared to most of our other operations. We're pleased to announce that we're fully staffed in this operation, which is not common in EMS these days. Unfortunately, we do have one of our EMTs and one of our paramedics that have been off with shoulder injuries, one now over a year. So we struggled a little bit with that. You'll see in some of the reports there was a couple of days. Most of the shifts that remain open are partial shifts, and that we can't get filled. I cover a fair amount of those myself when I have an opportunity to. Mostly because I still enjoy working the field, as long as I can get my other work done. During the holiday season, we do try to make it as good as we can for those that are stuck working the major holidays. Thanksgiving dinners were from honey baked hams, and then our supervisors at some of our other operations said, hey, we'll take care of it, we'll grill steaks for them. I can tell you, when I scrolled through their scrolling through their receipts, when I saw Wagyu steaks listed on there, I was scroll back up to see what they spent on them, but you know, they're happy with them, and if we can do that, it was a well-deserved investment in my opinion. And as well as one of our paramedics from Mason County is a big baker, and she baked a bunch of pies for them for dessert. Unfortunately, we lost one of our supervisors in October. If there's a positive note to it, he went to the education department at West Shore, so building that program up there does in the long term help us. He did remain part-time with us. Again, that left a gap for the month of the remainder of October, November and December until January. We did get a transfer from one of our paramedics from our Grand Rapids operation. It was filled a big spot for us to have a senior paramedic that has a fair amount of experience to step into a position here without any, just minimal operational training. with the differences between the rural ops and Grand Rapids, and he's enjoying it here. He said it's a huge change coming from that, but he is enjoying it here, and it seems to be fitting in well. We have it's actually a two-person department that oversees it, of continuous quality improvement, that monitors our run report system, and they at times will do studies. And one of their studies that just popped out, and they're presenting this nationally, they just did it earlier this month or last month at the National Medical Directors Conference in Tampa. Where they posted banners stuff. First they took measurements of how well we're addressing pain management, and then following into our protocols to make sure the protocols are being followed to a T. Then we identify what we're looking for to our crews, to our associates, and then move forward there to see what type of improvement we'll get in pain management. Actually, two of our local paramedics, you know, and this is a huge deal to have two of them, Pete Kurzer and Dan Medema, to have two from this county identified as some of the top performers to start off with, before they were even notified that there's a measurement going on. So we're very proud of that. We did have 10 requests for fire standbys and did 11 hours of coverage for this reporting period. I looked at our comparison on our Med 1, moving on to the actual data. Our Med 1 average response time stays about the same. There'll be minimal things, and honestly, that's what I look at for a temperature measurement, not the on-time performance. We were 84% after the lengthy exemption request there. Were there anything that stuck out on that I have not identified or that you have?
Commissioners,
I
anything?
didn't see him.
Certainly the real winter, as you mentioned,
Yeah, when Jim
affects.
came to me, he goes, look at December. I'm a little embarrassed. I'm like, we went through and we looked at these, and we do daily shift briefings, and during the winter months like this, we'll be asked by our control center to measure what our average response times are compared to our normal speeds, and we saw it almost a week long of 50% speeds.
Yeah.
And some of it's a little bit of a guess, but it helps them plan out when we're given an arrival time for a transfer, especially if we have multiple. And it has a much greater effect on our urban operations, much lesser effect on our rural, but it forces you to take a step back and look at that to how long it's going to take us. If they all of a sudden have 3 patients to move at one time, how do we get the resources here sooner? Do we reach out to other operations at that point? And I know when Jim was going through this, we go back and we look at the actual speeds the ambulances were traveling to these, and we were seeing multiple 35 to 45 mile an hour top speeds.
When the road disappears, or there's
Visibility.
3-foot snowdrift you've got to navigate, that's reasonable.
Is there anything else that I could answer before I mention that we did recently do an expansion into Grand Haven area? There was an RFP that was put out a few months ago, I think in December, and we were to start there in March 1, but we've been getting so many turnovers from Trinity Health because of the lack of coverage down there as it was. We put a vehicle down there beginning February 1. There'll be 2 staff there beginning next week, so we could phase it in. We are hiring some of their staff, so it's going to be a very difficult move for both agencies to flip a switch on March 1 to say, okay, yesterday you worked for Trinity, you know, today you're working for us, and we have to get some of them through. There's a bunch of them in our orientation this week. So fortunately, it's not under my purview. It'll be under our central operations. There'll be a deputy director that oversees that area.
Mr. Walker.
Jeff, with Jonathan going to West Shore Community College, does that mean that they've taken 2 of your full-time paramedics?
Yeah.
Is Dan still there too?
Actually, yeah.
Can't tell
And
me.
again, it is painful, but I guess if you look at it, it shows that we do have some quality individuals working for us that they can accept. One can run that department up there, and another one works in it full-time.
It used to be that the institution of higher education were the training grounds for the professionals out in the field. Now the professionals out in the field are the training grounds for the institutions.
Sometimes that takes place like that, you know, and again, it's a short-term painful thing for us, but,
Yeah.
you know, looking at it long-term, it's a better thing to see that program grow and to see that there's more opportunity to get people through that.
Yeah. Great.
All right, anything else?
Anything else?
No.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you for the
Ben.
opportunity.
Appreciate it. All right, next was GIS something or other for
CRG.
yeah, for I don't have that in front of me, for dispatch. Ms. Byer, do you have the details on that for us?
For the CRG mapping grant?
Yes.
The information was provided to you in an email. Troy knows quite a bit about this. Is there anything you want to share on that, Troy, or?
I'll give you a quick brief on it. So, the schools in the past, several of the school districts have used this program in order to map out. So it's basically these people that own the company are all ex-Special Forces military people, not Delta Force, and they've come from the logistics department of that. So they're the ones who take a building and they literally map it all out in a grid system, map out the hallways, the doorways, everything you'd ever want to know about that building, and then they put it into a computer format, and that way it allows them, that's how they do their operations. Well, now it's integrated into, started in schools, so several of the schools use it, and the dispatch uses it, and we can pull it up on our phones. We go to a call, you can pull up on the phone, you can literally see the building, it's did it in the grid, so if we say, hey, use door C7, you know exactly where that's at, and it breaks down the hallways, different layers. If it's a multiple story building, every floor is laid out. So then it allows everybody to have quicker and more efficient operations on that. Through that program, they've extended it to offer some grants, and that's why that's on your table today. Those grants, up to $25,000 per grant and 3 per county. So dispatch is doing 3 for, has the ability to do 3 for Mason and do 3 for Oceana. And now what they're doing, we're looking at doing the hospital, the care facility, and the courthouse are on the top 3 priorities of getting those done. So everything would be laid out. It's all in the computer system at dispatch. It goes into fire and police's information. So even like from our cell phones, from fire departments, they can pull it up and say, this is the floor plan, this is where we need to go. And it just expedites the time to take care of whatever mission that they're involved in. So this is a non-matching grant. There's no funds that have to come from you guys on this part, and you don't have to do any part to administrate it other than approve as a signature for it. Dispatch is going to handle it. Chris Ernst is the representative running that grant program, and it's all, everything's already done for you. And like I said, there's no money that comes out of you guys and no work that needs to be done by you. Dispatch will handle all of it, and that will get those grants. An example, one of the things they're going to do in Mason County, besides their courthouse and the sheriff's office, was their Badger. And lay that out, because that's something no one's really familiar with that much, but it is a high target item. And so Mason County through the same grant process, so the Mason's going to go through the exact same thing you guys are going through, improving it, and Central Dispatch will handle managing all of it for you. So it really becomes kind of an easy process.
Troy, I noticed on the locations that you were doing this, the Shelby Road Baptist Church is a shelter location. When we approved your mass casualty, you know, report that you sent to the state, give me the name of it, the one we approved a couple months ago.
Oh, that's the emergency operating plan?
The emergency, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rothbury Community Center was on that also. Is there a reason it's not on this?
We're going through the highest targets, would be with dispatch, we sat down and looked at it. It was going through the places that have the largest population to where we could have potentially the highest injury or so eventually, if these grants keep going, The
Well-
dispatch wants to spread it out to every one of the churches and every one of the places like the community center.
The reason I ask that is that is on the radar for central dispatch if there's a place where they have to shelter.
Yes, yes
Okay.
it is. Yep, we went based upon what is going to be the highest occupancy is probably the easiest way to put that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions on that?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Troy.
Appreciate it. Next item is, so the Oceana County Road Commission reached out to myself as their liaison. They're working to submit for a build grant in the amount of $25 million. And I'll just summarize. So they're looking for letters of support. And I thought it'd be good to have a letter of support from the whole board rather than just from myself. Just a kind of synopsis for the public. I'll read the last paragraph. This project will improve local gravel and dirt roads by upgrading them with slag, resurface and widen existing paved roads, which are in poor shape, turn them into Class A all-season roads, and provide a bridge rehab and 2 structure replacements to allow semi and farm traffic with no load or width restrictions year-round. So essentially this, they're calling this grant kind of a first mile grant. So obviously agriculture is a pretty big deal in our county. A lot of those farm roads, dirt roads, where those farm fields are, they're pretty rough. You run a semi down full of squash or carrots or celery, who knows, cherries, apples, those products are taking a beating going down those roads. So the goal is sometimes, depending on weather, wetness, makeup of the road, they become pretty rough to pass. So the goal is to fortify those dirt and gravel roads to really augment the first mile, the farmers, as they get that produce to processors and then out to feed the rest of the country and the world. So it's exciting progress to see from the Road Commission, just looking to improve, to enhance the economic condition of the county. And so I hope that we can have a concurrence to sign a letter of support from the whole board for that. So, any questions, comments? Yes.
So emergency management did write a letter of support on this from the basis of emergency services, because the other very heavy item that goes down those roads is the fire trucks. So that helps that, and same with the ambulances. If you think it's beating up the semis real bad, try riding the back of an ambulance or a fire truck. So we also wrote a letter of support for this grant.
Great. Nice.
So, you know.
Nice.
I sent one in as well from the county administrator's office, so,
Great.
but I do have, that letter prepared, and I do have it on Board of Commissioners letterhead
Great.
for that signature.
Great. Any other comments? Very good, thank you. Any department head reports for courts and public safety? Sheriff?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Sheriff.
Good morning. We've been busy doing our annual training, in-service training, to get those mandated hours that the state has laid on us to get get it kicked off in this, while it's still winter time. We just got done with a lot of our training, and that gets entered into the MCOLs in the mandated pages, so that we can get our officers well on their way towards their 24 hours of mandated training we have to provide. We did a mandatory firearms lecture, we did first aid. We've got TASER training upcoming, use of force, defensive tactics, and room entries, and several other things. Some of them are elective, many of them are mandated by the state now that we have to do. So our guys have been busy with that. That's all. A lot of it's behind us. Everybody's got at least 9 hours towards their 24, and then they can get the rest of them on Police One or Legal Update that we send guys to all the time, or other training platforms. So we're working towards getting a lot of that knocked out here in the winter season. In jail we have 52 inmates, so keeping a steady number, and what's in jail. Just this week, I did want to tell you briefly about a pretty substantial fraud complaint that is involving one of our schools, that because we've got a deputy embedded into Shelby School, he was able to get involved right away. Their purchasing department, it was what was violated was somebody opened up an email that they shouldn't have. This is what we talk about, what Amy talks about all the time, about being careful, cautious about opening emails. Somebody clicked on an email, and it was unfortunate, but it allowed the suspect, who's, it sounds like in Nigeria, to access the school's purchasing power through Amazon. $120,000 worth of laptop computers, iPads were ordered and delivered. So right now we've got around $30,000-$40,000 worth of computers in our basement that we recovered. So the scheme is they've contacted some individuals, and individuals that have unknowingly agreed to be a point of contact for the scammer, because they're being told they're being told false truth, or stories that, hey, we need some help from you. Can you take in this product and then send it to somebody else? Well, all these laptop computers and iPads were waiting to be sent, and it's all going to be, it's all money that's going to be frauded from our school system. So we believe we've recovered about $120,000 that has been ordered, that was being frauded from Shelby schools. So it was a great opportunity for our school resource officer to get some investigation in on this fraud. He got in on it really early. Now our detective today is going over to Genesee County and recovering a bunch more of the computers that got sent there to be distributed out further. So we're going to have a bunch more of Apple iPads or laptop computers, etc. So there was a very serious threat to one of our schools financially, but we think got on it really early and on top of it, and we're working with Amazon. They've stopped the purchases. They know this is a fraud, but so many of them happened right away. As soon as the email was clicked on, that fraudster had immediate access to their purchasing power, and made these purchases and had it all lined up where these points of contact were going to send out the computers. Unfortunately, we got in front of it. So we're recovering a lot of that stolen stuff. So it's really as unfortunate as it is. It's some nice work on the school resource officer, Deputy Simon, being involved right away, and now my detectives they're chasing it down as we speak. So yeah.
Well done.
The unfortunate thing is, as far as to backtrack it, the suspect, it sounds like, is in Nigeria. So we are having communication with the FBI, but we're pretty limited too as far as actually putting the bad guy in jail. It's pretty unlikely that the bad guy's going to see. Yeah. They're never going to see Oceana County Jail.
Yeah, please,
sure.
Please don't submit an invoice for interjurisdictional transfer
right,
for that
one. Right. But anyways, it's kind of an interesting complaint. I thought you might be interested in hearing how that was going. Any questions for me?
Tim?
Yes.
Sheriff, as you well know, nobody's exempt from that. In my tenure on this board, Oceana County has been hit twice.
Nobody. Yep.
It's so easy for the employee.
It is
to get caught up into that.
Yep. And this one that I'm speaking of, some of the gentlemen, they're being led to believe that there's a young lady on the other end. There was some grooming done for months and months, setting these guys up by saying that there's a young lady in Canada and she's going to be able to come here and be with you and even marry you if you make this transaction, and then you'll get a little bit of the money and then she'll be able to come here. Well, she's never coming here. She's a man in Nigeria he's not coming. He's funding Al-Qaeda. He's using this money for,
Sure.
fraudulent, and, these guys have got a lot of talent, and if they could use it towards something great, it could really be something, but,
Dang.
yeah, you're right, though. Nobody's exempt from this. Okay, I'll be here all day.
Thank you. Mr. Maloney?
Just to follow up on Mr. Walker's brought up the EOP, just so you know, so you guys signed on that, it's good to go. I'm down to the last 5 or 6 signatures that we need to get to complete that document. Once it's done, I'll file it with Tracy, it'll go to the clerk's office for review, and then everybody else will get a copy, including not just you guys, but anybody that's a signature on that will get a copy of that plan. So we're making progress. There was over 30 signatures had to be gained, and that's actually tracking people down. So those who have signed already, thank you. But I'm just down to a few, tracking down some people to get signatures on that. So that's coming along well. Any questions on the EOP?
Tim?
Mr. Walker?
Troy, with everything that's going on in Washington, with the spatting on defunding and everything, and I realize that Homeland Security is lumped into the group with the Coast Guard and everybody else, I'm speaking for myself now as no other board members. If that hits us, I will do everything I can to make sure your office remains funded if we have to do it locally.
Thank
I
you.
can't speak for any other board members. If they want to comment, they can, but if it gets that foolish that they're going to do it, we still need our local emergency management.
Appreciate that. And it has been dwindling. 5 years ago when I started here, we were getting 33% of my salary was getting reimbursed by Homeland Security. This year it's down to 9%. So we're literally down to about $8,000 is all we're going to receive this year. 2025, nobody knows what's going to happen with that yet. So the bad news is, yes, the defunding is happening. The good news is we've been slowly making that transition off of the EMPG grant already, just because they've been cutting our numbers down. So even if they eliminated it, it would literally be about a $9,000 hit to the county to have to pick up that difference. So it's.
I think
we might be able
we
to
could
figure
find a
out
way to
ways
make that work.
So-
And you've mentioned before the amount of work required for that money. So, yes, we may lose a couple dollars, but you'll also find some more time that is no longer
Yeah,
dedicated to
because
your
even though they
facility.
dropped it from 33 to 8 or 9%, they didn't change the workload that comes along with it. But anyway, so it's bad, but it will not be a big hit to us if that happens. We'll have to wait and see what happens in 25. You guys see the news as much as anybody, so we'll see how that affects.
I don't, I turn it off.
Yeah, wise decision.
I-
So that's where I'm at. The other item I want to update you guys on is as part of our active assailant program, working on reunification. Partnered with Sergeant Phelps from the Sheriff's Department. He's taken a really good lead, and I've been assisting him on. We're developing a mass transportation plan that goes along with that. It won't just be for active assailants; it will be for any emergency in our county. All the schools are involved in it, and the Council on Aging is actually going to take the lead as the point of contact to, if we call and say, hey, we need X amount of buses at this location for this emergency. The Council on Aging is actually going to use their dispatch and their computer system to call all the schools, assemble all that information, and be able to get back to the incident management team or the incident commander on what's available and all that. So not only partnering with the schools, and this will be a written IGA that all of them will participate in. And kudos to Sergeant Phillips, he's really doing a great job with that. But the Council on Aging is playing a big part on it. We really appreciate them stepping up, and we've met with them twice now, and they've been fantastic, and they're excited to be part of it, and that will really streamline that process. So that's moving along.
So I'd just like to make a comment. I'd like to thank Emergency Manager Maloney for that work when we hired you 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know how long it's been. One of this board's big directives was this collaboration idea, and to kind of work with our emergency. At that time, it was more just emergency responders to fire departments, police, EMS to kind of coordinate. But you're branching out and using some other resources with the schools, with the Council on Aging to just work some good collaboration plans, and so I appreciate that, and well done. So
Thank you, appreciate it. Any questions?
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Troy.
Any other department head reports? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none, we'll adjourn Courts of Public Safety. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, see ya.
You guys have a great day.
You too.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
You too.
We'll call to order Personnel and Health and Human Services Committee meeting. We have roll call.
Mr. Erickson,
Here.
Mr. Beggs,
Here.
Mr. Hardy,
Here.
Mr. McCormick,
Here.
Mr. Walker.
Here.
Approval of the minutes from August 14th. We get a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Approved by, or motion by Mr. Beggs and approved by Mr. Hardy. Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any changes to our agenda? Hearing none, we need approval for the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support, Walker.
Approved, or motion by Mr. Beggs and approved by Mr. Walker. We'll move on to public comment.
We need to.
All in favor?
We need all in favor.
Aye.
All in favor for the agenda, or
Yeah.
for the,
For the-
approval of the agenda?
Aye.
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 Public comment? Okay, then we'll move on to Veterans Affairs. Jody?
Come on up.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning.
It's finally us. You guys should have all of this in front of you.
Yep.
We emailed it to Tracy.
Yep.
It is, we tried to shorten it, it's a little lengthy, so I won't go into detail. A lot of times you guys have questions anyway, so it's just our year in review. Since we have Sam also, he's presenting and he's really good at answering questions too. So, year in review, Oceana County Department of Veterans Affairs has been filled with lots of moments of assisting local veterans and their families in completing paperwork, enrolling in VA healthcare emergent needs, and public outreach events. That statement is so vague. We do so much more than that, but just for those purposes, we're going to list those things. We did do a presentation of a veteran in Mears, local Vietnam veteran that had lost his medals and awards. In doing some of that research, Sam and I were able to find some medals that he did not even know that he had. So we did order the shadow box and everything for him. Sam did a lot of research in, that's kind of your wheelhouse, he's very good at that. The medals, the awards, how they're presented and how they're laid out. So that was a big surprise to him. He did not know that that was happening. His family came because he had lost all of that in the house fire. So we enjoy doing things like that and surprising veterans. He's well deserving. He's a very decorated veteran. So that was, we loved doing that for him. Some of the monies for last year, yearly back pay amounts. So this is money when we file a claim. We put an intent to file in. The claim takes a process to be adjudicated by the VA. A back pay amount is awarded if they are awarded a disability. Last year's back pay amount was $1,266,330 and some cents. Compensation increase totals, those are if a veteran has disability and they're at 10%, we file for increases. We find other things that they are deserving of and they have an increase in that disability. That's our yearly total for last year was $2,393,645. We did do a lot of emergent need last year. We all know with the economy, lots of changes going on. $35,142.67 on that. 24 outreach events we did with 958 veterans reached. That's something that in going to different training and stuff that we've noticed there's a huge difference in Oceana County, and a lot of the other counties know it. We do a lot of outreach. We bring a lot of veterans kind of out of the woodwork that would not normally come into the office. We're really proud of that. Saginaw, a lot of the other VSOs are noticing that. They're like, wow, you guys really do a lot. So we hear a lot of really good feedback from a lot of people on what Veterans Affairs is doing in Oceana County. We have a lot of Battle Creek right now just reached out to us to have Sam and I come and present in Battle Creek at that is our regional hospital, and they are choosing Oceana County from our region to come and present on what a VSO is supposed to do, because you're finding that a lot of VSOs are just not doing what they're supposed to do. If we have a Korean War veteran that is 89 years old and they don't know how to use a cell phone, we're going to sit with them and we're going to set up everything that they need on that cell phone. It's not just about getting them benefits or getting them enrolled in VA healthcare. It's that process of helping them along the way and continuing to help them through those processes and giving them what they deserve. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
40 VA appointments for rides given. There was a pilot program you guys may know about called the NREX program, Northern Rural Expansion. Our region, so this local region, was the only one in the United States that they chose to do this pilot program for VA healthcare. The pilot program was not budgeted correctly. They took the program away, so they were using out of Battle Creek, our regional hub, for VA healthcare. They were using Newaygo County VFW, our Hart VFW, to help veterans see a primary care doctor and allow blood draws for traveling, so that veterans rural veterans did not have to travel as far to a VA facility, because we're not a huge corporation like Corewell or Trinity. We as veterans have to travel a little further for VA healthcare. So it worked out well for those veterans, but it did not work out well for VA healthcare. So they had pulled that program just recently in December. A lot of really upset veterans, but we are very, very supported in this county. We have great volunteer drivers. We're up to 5. Do we have 5 or 7 now?
It was 7. We just lost one due to heart surgery, but I guarantee he's coming back.
Yep. He's coming back strong. He's our main driver.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we have 7 now, and that's almost unheard of in most counties. So we have a huge support system. We give a lot of veterans rides to and from appointments. We have a REACH initiative where we meet every 6 weeks or so now with Oceana Council on Aging comes. So we're working with them constantly, and with Muskegon VA, trying to work with DAV, get a bus, working with other counties in our region. Our coalition is Oceana County, Lake County, Mason County. It's kind of branching to Manistee and Muskegon. So trying to see if we can get some kind of coalition with other Council on Agings and get these buses that can maybe take a veteran to a border to pick up, other veterans. But luckily in this county, we don't hear of it very often. We have great, great volunteer drivers. So that's been wonderful with that program being eliminated. We did do, Sam got his PIV card, so he has government access. Government access is huge. There are a lot of veteran service officers that do not have that. That makes us better to file a claim, follow that claim without having different accreditation through the American Legion. When you have accreditation through a separate entity like that, they're pretty much working the claim and you're filing the paperwork. So we work directly with the regional office out of Detroit and are accredited nationally through the United States. So he knocked that out really quick like I did when I came on board, and we're good to go. So all of that's taken care of. We do have to keep up CEUs, so we have other trainings that we have to have 1,000 hours of work. That's why we have to have at least him working part-time, one of us working part-time, and part-time or full-time to keep those 20 hours for accreditation. 1,000 hours a year is what it is. So We do a monthly coffee and donuts. We've kept that up for a while. That is, I think if we took that away, veterans might cry. We do that at Heritage Wedding Barns. Sam Stitt is amazing enough to allow us to do that for free. Him and his wife are really good about helping out with that. So we keep that going. We also did a pizza party this year. We had about 122 people at that. We do 30 Thanksgiving and 50 Christmas boxes. The Eagles help with the Thanksgiving boxes. Daughters of American Revolution, our local chapter here, helps with the Christmas boxes. Council on Aging has been very helpful with stuff. We are doing still our annual 5K. That was our 4th annual this year. That's kind of our big fundraiser that we do. We are looking at doing another fundraiser possibly. I've been working closely with Tim as our liaison, and then Tracy, you're always great with the budget. We're finding that we're a little over budget. We'll talk more about that at the end, because we would like to do more. It brings a lot of veterans in the end, brings more money into the county, but we don't want to be too far over in our budget either. So lots of outreach events. These are, Danny is kind of our graph guru, I call her. So she helps a lot with the admin portion of doing our graphs and a lot of our tracking. Year-to-year comparison since we started tracking. I started in December of 21. It was a huge takeover, so it took me until about April to jump in and get my feet wet and start actually tracking. So since April of 2022, you can kind of see our numbers and how they've increased. Sam, was it October your start date?
October of 24.
So he's been over a year, so you can see kind of how that's increased even in 2025. So one of our initiatives before we get to the food pantry, I'll skip to the last page, is that we have the need to have 2 full-time VSOs. We know right now with our millage that we are probably not going to be able to do that, but our millage renews end of December 2027. That's something that we're just kind of tossing around right now. We would love to see Sam go full-time. We do have definite a need for it. So that's just something to be thinking about in the future. I'm working closely with Tracy on that and seeing where we can get with that, maybe decreasing our budget or me decreasing hours, us both being 30. I mean, we can work with it. We're trying to figure some things out there, maybe even increasing his hours more. So food pantry growth has been amazing. Now that we have that extra space, that has changed things dramatically for us. We hit 143 families this year, especially when you have the SNAP benefits, the issues that were happening this past year. We are feeding a lot of families. Community Wish Foundation has been amazing. They have donated, we had an anonymous donor this year of donated $5,000 to us for the veteran pantry. They've also donated an upright refrigerator and upright freezer. So we have local veterans that hunt that have donated venison. I did an elk hunt this year, so I donated about 50 pounds of elk meat. Country Dairy always works with us. We have milk and eggs and meat from them that we have used some of the Community Wish Foundation money for. So we're keeping that thing pretty stocked. It's been great. We use it very often. And then Daughters of American Revolution, different entities like that donate shampoos, deodorants. We're pretty covered in there. I mean, we have veterans that we help out a lot that just come back in and bring toilet paper and paper towels. So we actually get a lot of donations for the pantry. So that's been great. Vet Day events, our 4th annual, I touched base on that. That was a really good turnout. I don't remember, how many did we have this year? We hit our top numbers again? Was it 50?
For the
5K?
It was closer to 60.
Closer to 60
which was
this year.
double what last year was.
Yeah, and then we had so it was our 2nd annual parade this year. We started that last year. I think next year we're not going to do a parade. We're putting some money into the parade. We wanted it to turn out. There wasn't a great turnout this year. I'm sure it's the weather too. It's cold. I think that we can probably save a little bit in budget by not doing that. There are other parades that we can kind of jump in on without putting on our own. It's kind of getting to be a lot to do that all in one day, the 5K into that. So I think next year we're looking at just focusing on the 5K. So that's our big event that we do every year. And then jumping in on maybe the asparagus parade and some different parades that are already happening within the community. Our goals for 2026, I talked a little bit about Sam and that full-time position, increase public outreach events. We're always doing, you and Danny did Pentwater. Is that the market that they have?
Pentwater Farmers Market was very successful for us. I think we got at least 10 appointments out of that, and that's huge because we can make contacts with the veterans, but getting them to physically come into the office is another story. So being able to convert maybe 30 contacts to 10 appointments shows that it's really working.
Huge. A lot of those smaller events like that is where we seem to get the most veterans too. So you've got that line in Pentwater. A lot of them don't even know if they live in Mason or Oceana County. So it's really nice to do those events on the outskirts of town too. So yeah, we get a lot of conversion there with veterans that just don't even know still that we exist. So the more of those smaller outreach events we do, the New Era Farmers Market, and I bet you that's probably one of our biggest events where we get the most turnover with veterans. So that's been great. We're going to continue to do our Vet Day 5K. Sam's been looking at initiating maybe a golf outing so that we have a spring and fall event. That's just kind of in the works. He's been doing a little bit of research on that, and I'm sure maybe at the next department head meeting or the one after that, he might be able to report a little bit more on that as we're looking at budget too. So just something that we're looking at. You guys, I think, did you get a copy of the award
Yes.
tracking stuff? Okay, so you can kind of see the total compensation per year, total back pay. Total compensation is going to be that increase that we've had. So total since I started tracking in 22, and then Danny came on and took over tracking, but we're almost at the 7.5 million mark. So that's very good. When you look at the census that we get every year from the state, it really doesn't reflect what we do total as a county, because we are not, that's going to reflect your other POAs, we call them, powers of attorney, like American Legion. We don't use those because we don't need them. And so if you ever see those when you have questions on them, definitely ask one of us, but they're not very reflective of what we do as a county here, Southie as a whole. These numbers are the most accurate. And these numbers could change. These are sometimes, we have about 319 claims moving total right now between the two of us. So there's going to be people that are going to receive back pay amounts that are just not reporting that back to us. These are only people that we're either tracking or don't, some people don't report back to us. That they may get money from the VA and we just we never know about it. So I think on that is also, that you guys already saw that back pay amount. And then the other, this is just kind of this paper that we usually give you guys too, is the yearly veteran tracking. So this gives you a breakdown of the specific things that we're doing. The appeals process, these other support services are a big deal that you don't see. There is a huge fund, Michigan Veteran Trust Fund is put on through Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. Sam is now a part of that. Because Oceana County does so much, they only allow 2 people in per office to take on those applications. I've been with them for 8 years now, so they are allowing Sam to be able to take applications. He was prior anyway. It works a lot like our soldiers and sailors applications. So that's something in the future, looking at the budget, where they have about 7.8 million that they can use to disperse through the counties. it's kind of the same criteria and need as the Soldiers and Sailors Emergent Fund. So we can possibly decrease our indigent and non-indigent, because they've expanded theirs for peacetime veterans now. That funding is there. We could possibly decrease ours and do more applications with Michigan Veteran Trust Fund also. So that's an initiative we're looking at moving into this year and next year too. So, if there's any questions?
Go ahead, Mr.
Just
Begg.
not really a question, just a comment. You know, as liaison to the Veterans Affairs Board, very, very active board. Not only do they meet monthly to discuss policy, but they're, you know, you saw the pictures. They're very hands-on. These folks, along with just forgot her name.
Oh, Danny.
Danny, thank you. They're in the office every day, but and doing great work. But their board is also pretty hands-on and doing a lot of work. So just fun to see the organization work and be part of some of their.
I should have given them some kudos.
Yeah,
Yeah, they come and put our shelving, all of that you guys see in the pantry. That's our board. They take their extra time and they've put all that shelving together. They come and jump the van when I forget my jumper cables and we need to drive that thing around the block to keep the battery charged. And yeah, they're very, very helpful. Even Sam's wife has done some grocery shopping for the pantry, family affairs. So yeah, we're all in it together. Thanks for reminding me, Tim.
Okay, no, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Department head report. Public comment.
Sure.
This
Thank you
is
so much, Eddie.
personnel and health.
It won't offend you, I'll jump in just for 2 minutes.
Sure.
James Kelly, District Director, MSU Extension. I sent a quarterly report. I'm not sure if that made it to you electronically in the last few days.
it did.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
emailed it out.
yes.
Looking for you over there.
Boy, it's
Sorry.
been a long
I
time
know,
since
but
we've seen you.
old habits die hard. Yes, appreciate you taking a look at that report, of course, forwarding it. I did bring also just one other document I wanted to share this morning. Kind of a nice summary that Kathy in our office puts together in terms of our ag-focused trainings coming up over the next 2 or 3 months. So it's an extremely busy time of year for Extension. And I will highlight the Oceana Ag Banquet that's coming up, and Chair Walker was, I'm pleased to share, if I may, was purchasing some tickets this morning up at the office. So although some of you have stronger ties perhaps to the ag industry than others in this room, I would invite you to any of these in terms of getting a glimpse into the window of ag in Oceana County. The Ag Banquet is coming up on March 19th, and that's kind of a team production of MSU Extension, Farm Bureau, and the Conservation District. So lots of good information in there. A couple of you might have received this already electronically. Some of you may not, so I thought I would leave that. I think I just gave you 4. Did I give you 4? Oh, no, we're good. And I believe I'm on the schedule, was April, for an annual report, so I will save more commentary until April for a little expanded discussion, but just wanted to pop in while I was in the area this morning. Thanks.
Thank
Thank you, James.
James,
Yes, sir.
as we talked about when I was in your office today, there was another letter going out on the Ag Banquet because the dates were not correct in the first one that went out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if you were aware of that.
19
Well,
or 20.
the year wasn't correct either. The year-
That's probably the document sent out by
Yeah,
Farm Bureau or...
Yeah, it was sent
They're
out,
not in the room, are
it
they?
was sent out by Farm Bureau.
Oh,
For anybody who's
sorry.
putting it on their calendar, there's a follow-up letter that's going out with the
Oh,
correct
okay.
dates on it.
I was joking about that, but that was something that came through Farm Bureau?
Yes.
Okay. Well, glad you
They're not
caught
here,
that.
they're not here. They can't defend themselves.
That's right. Thank you for pointing that out.
Okay, personnel and health meeting is adjourned. Mr. Hardy.
she's ready. All right, I'd like to call to order Finance and Administration Committee. May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. Begg?
Here.
Mr. McCormick?
Here.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here.
Great. I'd ask for approval of the meeting minutes from January 22nd, 2026.
So moved, Walker.
Support.
Motion by Walker, support by McCormick. Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll ask for approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support, Walker.
Motion by Beggs, support by Walker. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Is there any public comment at this time for Finance and Administration Committee? Hearing none, we'll move on. Administrator Biard, Materials Management Appointments 2026-20.
So, as you all know, you appointed the positions for the Materials Management Planning Committee, and on occasion we have changes to those, and unfortunately, because we have 5 counties that are represented on this committee, every time there's a change, each one of the boards have to approve those new positions. So these new positions are for Muskegon and Lake County, and unfortunately Oceana County is looking for another business rep because we had someone drop out again. So we'll be tackling that again soon, but this is particular to Muskegon and Lake counties.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right, Ms. Biard, American Classic contract revision.
So we had been approached with regards to some damage to some of the dumpsters out at the transfer station while they were in the process of taking over the transfer station, and we were asked to pay for those damages. They were, I don't recall what the total cost was, but it seemed like it was close to $10,000 for repairs on those dumpsters. So I did let them know that there was a little bit of pushback when it came to wanting to cover those costs, and the owner of American Classic reached out and asked if the county would be willing to revise the date in which they would start paying the $500 monthly payment to 2028 from 2027. So to recoup those costs. So that is what this request is for. Is there any questions?
So in other words, then they're gonna zero the repair cost out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the amount that we would be getting for that is
Yeah.
almost half of what they're asking for,
Right,
so.
yeah.
There was quite a discussion over this, and it was getting to the point that it was going nowhere, because we didn't have a backhoe out there to compact things down into those dumpsters
Right.
anymore. And the SkyTrack would be very, very difficult to thing. We didn't have pictures of the dumpsters in the condition when they came in. We did have pictures when they were going out, and it just got to the point that, for me, it was gonna be just a back and forth and a back and forth. And when they made this proposal, being a new partnership that we had, you know, I just don't think we're gonna get anywhere arguing, and it's for the better for both of us.
I think it's fair on both ends.
You know, it's better for the both of us just to put it to bed and just, that's the end of it.
Yeah. Any questions?
Was a trip to the well.
All right, continuing on, GIS mapping, public facing web map viewer.
So, It's been a couple meetings ago, we had, this was on the agenda, for a change to our GIS mapping. The board, Mr. Walker in particular, had suggested this going back to maybe some department heads or people that utilize the mapping system more frequently. We had that meeting with Spicer Group, and I can say that there was quite a bit of support from the group that attended, checking that out. They provided us with some examples of different counties that are utilizing the same system, and I am asking the board to move forward with this program and hire Spicer Group to create these new maps for us.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs, I was told that you looked at this system.
Yeah, I just looked at was it Eaton County you sent me? The biggest thing I didn't like about the previous system was how cumbersome it was for anybody to use to see a parcel and get the information. So I looked at Eaton County's. It's very similar to the Fetch GIS that we used before, where it's very easy to go to a satellite map, click on a parcel, see who owns it. You know, all the pertinent information is right there, easy to use. I was pretty happy with the forward-facing. I don't know anything about the back end or the cost, but the forward-facing user side of it for any of our departments to use was just super easy. So I was pleased with it.
And if you had any chance to look at Eaton County's maps, you'll see that they have, I don't know, there was 6 to 9 different types of maps on their website, and that is that they've placed additional layers on those maps, so you can go in there and you can find where their county parks are, or it might be specific to 911, it might be specific to the sheriff's department and finding what they need to find and those different types of things. And Spicer Group said that they have the ability to do that for us, and they would work with us and get those maps back in-house. So they're under us now, and those maps would be ours.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
The thing that I like the most about this system is, and Mr. Beggs, affirmed that, is the ease and the simplicity of use. If our deputies out in the county, and I'm not speaking for your department, but just saying, Sheriff, if they're out there and they're on a critical thing and they want to look up something on a map, time is very, very important. And for them to be able to pull it up, within just a minute or two makes a huge difference for me, I think. Sheriff, do you have a comment about it at all, or?
I just totally agree that it's. I know Under Sheriff was involved in that meeting, and I heard nothing but positive comments about it. I talked with dispatch about it as well. They were real optimistic about using this.
It wouldn't surprise me that your department, if the system was simpler to use, that your department and your road guys would probably be the biggest users of it.
You're probably right. Yeah. As it is, so many of them use Onyx for a lot of different things, but this system would have a lot more capabilities than Onyx would, of course.
All right. Ms. Biard, Planning Commission appointment.
I didn't have the application from the Planning Commission, but I was approached by Mr. McKean and asked for this to be approved by the board, as it was a recommendation from the County Planning Commission.
Who is it?
Kimberly Mall.
She was here and did a presentation to the Planning Commission.
That matter. It's the other Kim Mall. There were two Kim Malls. All right. Continuing on, Administrator Briard, Administration's review of selected claims for payment and Administrator's report.
The claims have been provided for you. Any questions on those?
Yes. I see a payment to Enterprise Trust for $64,617.63, and the administrator told me that's a 2-month payment.
Yeah, I looked on the thing and it's December and January.
I hate to even say this without the sheriff being here. There's interest to get paid on those if they don't get paid when they're supposed to get paid. So, you know, it would be nice if they get submitted monthly to the process to get paid, because we're talking about so much money there.
Okay.
Great. Anything else on that? If not, administrator's report, there's a report provided for you. In addition, the auditors have reached out, they're getting started early. So, yeah, so we're working on gathering some of that information for them, quite a bit of stuff to go out to them, but I'm also preparing information for our opioid monies. That report needs to be completed by February 13th, so I've been compiling that. We are still waiting for a report from MSU to complete their findings to get them back to us, and we've been assured that that's going to be coming soon. So I hope so, because we need to get the ball rolling and get something started with those opioid funds. So that report's going to be submitted probably by next week. And I don't believe I have anything else.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Department head reports? Hearing none.
They're pretty quiet.
It's pretty quiet.
I'm guessing public comment's gonna be pretty quiet.
Any public comment for Finance and Administration Committee? Hearing none, we will adjourn the Finance and... I'm sorry.
Just 1 minute.
Yes.
I'm remiss because I didn't bring this up when we first started. We have another person from the clerk's office who is helping take minutes. Melanie, would you introduce this person to the other board members? You did to me, but would you please do that?
This is Christy Lindley. She is deputy clerk in our office.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Melanie.
After that, we will adjourn Finance and Administration Committee and take a break until 11:30 when the regular board meeting starts.